Hello there, friends, acquaintances, enemies, um, allies, and people I haven't met yet. Um, this is a response in sensory deprivation. It is a response to hyperdrama and to these revolving discussions that I seem to keep observing about what I would call, well, I'm not the first one to call it this, hyperdrama, or at least the hyperdrama of individualism in the face of a overwhelming homogeny, or this what some people interpret as a fascist conformity. Now, I've said this before in that every individual wants to differentiate themselves from the previous generation and to make themselves into a unique and a distinct and distinguished individual. But of course, hyper individualism leads to the dissolution of the social fabric. It is an extreme and it is a reactionary trend of an abstract force, you know, as something in which people want to make the metaphysical or the digital into the analog. They want to make their fantasies real. Now, the lies of utopia or of euphoria are that this is something that is sustainable. But again, euphoria lies to you in that it tells you that you've had an epiphany, but in most cases, you haven't arisen to the challenge that courage that requires courage to confront the, what do we want to call it? We don't want to necessarily. We need to confront. It's, if, as a classical argument, mortality, and of course the anxiety of a digital immortality. So, what do we become? What do we leave behind? And how do you achieve a place within history that is meaningful, that is significant, and again is distinguished, and a contribution, so to speak, and that for which you are remembered and you are loved and you are lauded for all the things that you did in your life. But the truth is not everyone is destined for greatness. And it's these false moral or ethical equivalencies which again arise out of the euphoria. And again, the euphoria lies to you in that you think that you've had an epiphany, but the truth is that there is nothing new under the sun. That is the absolute truth. The existence of the universe predates us, or humanity, by thousands of years. It even predates religion. But whenever we start listening to these prophets, or talking heads, or these popularists, as some people describe them, or these reactionaries, in which at a certain point they become destructive. And I'm not referring to any single individual in the public sphere or in the popular pop culture sphere, which people like to gather around and criticize. just because they don't like them, or because their moral or their political stance and or ethical stance, because these three things are not the same. They are not the same things. Are in opposition to their lifestyle or to their choices and their belief systems. So, what happens when you stare into the void? The void stares back at you, and you find the failings of yourself or of society, in which we've hyper intellectualized, and we've constructed all of these arguments for or against a specific subject or moment of change. And what this is really is a sign of is the baton passing from the previous generation to the next generation, and we're left there standing going, oh shit, what do we do now? This is not the world that I envisioned. And now that I have the power to choose the future that I want, I don't want it. That is the constant battle of civilization. And again, it's a false dichotomy of the masculine versus the feminine, which is why transgenderism is such a contentious issue, because again, it's this haze, this drug-induced haze, in which people raise the spiritual or the metaphysical self to be of higher importance. So, say your avatar or your online persona to be of higher importance than your physical one. And that we can, through technology, change ourselves into what we want to be and become gods in our own lives. Again, these ideas arise out of philosophical arguments that were debated over and talked about hundreds of years ago, and they have no less relevancy now as they did then. The difference being the drug culture of the time, because the easiest way to induce euphoria or to achieve a state of spiritual mysticism is through drug use or drug abuse, as if these things give us an advantage over the rest of humanity, as if they're performance enhancing. But they're not, because again, the addiction is the dystopia. So what are you addicted to? You're addicted to euphoria. And that is chasing the dragon. And most people are so insulated from the true harsh realities of our lives that they will never quite understand what it is. As some people would say, they would never understand what it is to hit rock bottom. I hope this makes sense. Don't let the euphoria of the utopia lie to you.